Shady McCoy, you have been the most contentious, I will say, about the MVP conversation. All season long, you feel as though no player had really earned that based upon their play outside of Tyreek Hill. Well, Tyreek Hill looks like he will fall well short of that 2,000-yard record-setting mark. Lamar Jackson, he is now dominated as of late, particularly the last two games, national audience, Niners, Dolphins. Has Lamar ended the MVP debate?
Yeah, I think he took it over, right? I think that performance yesterday that showed the world that, listen, I am the MVP. And normally with MVPs is the best team in football and the best player on that team. Lamar Jackson's that. We ain't asking questions if he's a game manager or if he's a breakout player. We're not asking. We already know what it is. And another thing about Lamar, he's playing against the top teams and he's dominating them. He went up to the Bay. Woo! Smoked them boys. I didn't even know that was happening. Smoked them boys from the Bay. Right? Great defense.
They just say facts.
You come back to the Dolphins, right? Good team. Yep. It is a good team, right?
Yep.
Since Ramsey has came back to the Dolphins, they have the #1 defense.
Talk about
That's what they said.
That's just facts.
Not what they said. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
But Lamar Jackson, he said, huh? He said, what? He took over that thing. Yeah. So when you ask me, like, who's the MVP, it's got to be Lamar. Not by just words, by numbers, and by what he's doing against these good teams. And they got to be Super Bowl favorites. Think about it. With the Niners,
why are you now so? Because, Shady, for 17 weeks, quite literally, America, for close to 120 days, I have been trying to convince you that it's this quarterback, that it's that quarterback, that it was Dak for a while, that it was Brock. But you forever were like, nah, Acho, it's got to be Tyreek Hill. Ain't none of these dudes playing well enough. Why now are you so convinced that it's Lamar? I don't disagree with you, but why are you so convinced?
So first of all, Tyreek Hill was about to do something we've never seen before in football, right? Go for 2,000 yards. That got to be somebody to talk about for MVP. So he's not going to get it because he's not going to get to that. Cool. We just go to the quarterbacks. That's the thing they want to praise, the quarterbacks. When you look at them, now that I feel like Lamar he started getting there after after the Niners game.
Yes, sir.
Then, now we're talking about him. He smelled blood in the water. What does he do? He go out there and takes it.
That's right.
And when you look at who he is and what he brings to the game, it's like, even with Brock Purdy, I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. Do I think he's an MVP quarterback? No. Do I think he's the best player on that team? No. When I look at Lamar Jackson and that great defense they got over there and the weapons they got on offense, I still think Lamar Jackson's the best player. When you watch him play against the top teams, he's the best player, not only on his team, but the whole field. You know what? It's crazy. Duke Staley was one of my favorite coaches. He's always say, Shady, I don't want you to be the best running back on the field. I don't want you to be the best offensive player on the field. I want you to be the best player on the field. And when you watch Lamar Jackson against the top teams, that's who he is. And if he's that, how the hell he not the MVP?
I don't know what I can add to that other than that was a really poor day for the Dolphins. The rough go. Rough go.
Hey, real quick, you think McDaniel had any, like, jokes after the game? Or was he thinking
Daniel was not.
He kept it serious?
The jokes was done. Then let me move it.
Ask can do that to you, though.
That's what that was. I don't know what I can add to that. Everything you're saying is
Let me move it forward. Let me move the conversation forward then. Lamar Jackson has 24 passing touchdowns. But we count rushing touchdowns.
Yes,
he has 5 rushing touchdowns. He has 29 total touchdowns. I believe, Andy, please correct me if I'm wrong, we have to go back to 2007 to find an MVP to win the award with 30 or less touchdowns. Keep in mind, Lamar Jackson likely will not play next week because the #1 seed is already sealed up. He has nothing to play for. Shady said it so eloquently, you said you don't have anything to add to that. Add something to this. Do either of y'all on the left side have issue with the fact that Lamar Jackson will win MVP or could win MVP or should win MVP with 24 passing touchdowns? For context, when he won it last year, he led the league. When he won it last time, he led the league with 36. And with 5 rushing touchdowns, when he won it last time, he had 8. Does that bother you at all that his stats pale in comparison to previous years and to himself?
No, because I think we're having a nuanced conversation finally about the MVP this year. Yes, if you compare numbers year to year, then it's just a statistical award. And we don't really need to get into who's winning or what. It's just let's just give it to whatever player has the best statistics. But that's not what it is. It's not the best statistical player. It's the MVP. And this year has been a very interesting year in the NFL. It's been a lot about defenses this year. It's the year of the backup quarterback. Players that usually play at a super high level, put up crazy numbers, aren't putting up those numbers this year for multiple reasons. The MVPs last year, the winner of the MVP and the runner-up, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, not putting up numbers at all. So it is a very unique year. What I think that Shady said is really the point, though. we had questions about if Brock Purdy is an MVP level quarterback. He is a good quarterback, maybe even great, but he's not even the best player on his team. And Lamar Jackson went head to head with him, and you saw the difference. We saw the difference. And like Shady said, he was the best player on the field with dogs everywhere, superstars everywhere. And he was the light. And he did that again this week. So it's not so much about statistics. Are you the reason that your team is winning? We know that. No one's arguing that. The defense is incredible, and we see Lamar Jackson be next level great. So we don't really need to argue about the statistics. We're all watching the same thing. We're all experiencing greatness, and you can feel that. And that's really, to me, what an MVP is. You see and feel and understand the greatness. He doesn't have to play next week because all season long, he's put his team in a position to be at the top of the league. They're the best team. They're the great team this year, and they've done that throughout the regular season. I think the only player that's even close to the conversation right now is Josh Allen, and Josh has an opportunity to put a great performance on the field next week, but he has to. Lamar Jackson doesn't have to play because he's been so good all season long. That is really what the difference is to me. Yes, the statistics might not match year to year, but this is a unique year, and we've seen Lamar be great against the other teams that we thought were great in the league and dominate them. Thank you.
Open your eyes. Open your eyes now. Come on, man. Lamar Jackson. Listen here. I listened to y'all when they played the Niners, not to bring up and open up old wounds, but you said it's an all-pro there, and it's an all-pro there, and it's an all-pro over there, and it's 5 of them over there, and it's 3 more on the coaching staff. Y'all trying to tell me all that. How you picking the Lamar in the radio? Y'all trying to tell me all that. And Lamar went out there and said, all y'all cool. Well, this is a different level. And I think that is what Lamar Jackson is showing this year when he plays anybody. The good teams, the bad teams. Lamar Jackson is showing that I'm the best player when I step on the field every week. Even if my receivers may drop a couple passes, whatever it may be, I'm the best player on the football field. And that's what Lamar Jackson showed last week, and that's what Lamar Jackson showed this week. Gus Edwards got 12, 13 touchdowns. If it inside the 5-yard line, like 10 of them. If Lamar Jackson really wanted to have 40 touchdowns, Gus would have 2 of them things. And that's just keeping it real. We watched a play when they played the Niners when Bosa just ran straight at Lamar. I'm handing it off to Gus. Gus in there with his flags on still. You know what I'm saying? So if you're opening your eyes and you're really watching Lamar Jackson play football, he's making the game look extremely easy, and he's making everybody around him better and everybody's job around him better. Gus is walking in the end zone because they account for 8, right? Zay Flowers wide open touchdown because 8 escaped this pocket, get outside this pocket, make plays down the field. You got 4, 5 more seconds to get open. It's big plays, right? So Lamar Jackson, when he steps on the field, he's making it look too easy. Lamar looked like he jogging out there. Like these boys running up on him. He trying like I see you. Like for real though. Like he's making the game look extremely easy.
He did work like that.
Yeah, pointed at him like I see. So when you talk MVP, if Lamar Jackson is not on the Ravens, they're not in the spot they are right now. That's true. If Lamar Jackson is not on the Ravens, everybody that's around him right now not having the success they having, Gus, Zay, all of them boys. And if you truly open your eyes, every time he steps on the football field, whether he throws 2 touchdowns or 1, he clearly looks like the best player.
Does it bother you all, having led the league in receiving touchdowns one year, having led the league in rushing touchdowns one year, does it bother you all that Lamar Jackson will and should and could win MVP with a measly, I will say, 24 passing touchdowns? You know what?
And nobody's really killing it like that, right? And the only person I'm going to say is having a really, really good year stats-wise would probably be Josh Allen. What, 40-some touchdowns?
Yeah, 42, I believe now.
Right, and but they haven't been a good team all year, right? So now when I look at the new award, it's the quarterback award. Let's just remove all the other stuff. It's the quarterback award. So let's go to the teams, right? Because nobody's killing it like that, like they normally do. Go to the teams. The Ravens are the best team in football. Let's go to the players. The best player is the quarterback. Yeah. What else we talking about, right? When you need him most in MVP form moments, he gives you that. Yeah. Yo, cool, we go on the road to play against the best team in football, the Niners. I got you, coach. You said we got enough stars that they got? Hey, don't worry about that. I got you. He gives you MVP performance. Cool. Next game. Yo, we going against the Dolphins. Yeah. They just beat the Cowboys. Like, they just in third. They got 2. They got Tyreek Hill. Hey, don't worry about that, coach. I got us. What's he do? He gives you an MVP moment.
Yeah.
So when you ask him for the MVP, he's showing you who he is. He might not have 40 touchdowns or 39. He might not have that right now. No. But nobody has that. But what he does have is his team winning football, the best team in football, and I'm the best player in the field when I touch on it.
And not only that, it's the impact of the game. I remember the year I led the league in touchdowns.
Do you remember that?
We had Greg Jennings
Look,
on the
but do
other
you remember
side.
that?
We had Greg Jennings on the other side, and we had Jordy Nelson. And we would come in there and watch tape, and boom, they roll in that coverage to Greg Jennings. I'm eating. That don't mean I'm better than Greg. Right? The impact that Greg is having on the game, 12-0. They roll into Greg Jennings over the top. That means 8-9, one-on-one. Ball to 8-9. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. So after a while, they're like, okay, we can't keep rolling to Greg. This dude eating. So with Lamar Jackson, if you turn on the tape, the impact that he is having and how he's making everybody better, that matters as MVP, not just 40 touchdowns. Like, he is making a huge impact, and he's making it look easy.
And Josh is... he's incredible, and he is having an incredible statistical season. But we can't just forget the whole chunk of the season where, because of his play, they were in a hole that he's had to climb them out of, and it's been incredible to watch. And they're rolling right now, and that's great because he's a superstar and he's capable of doing that. But the lows put them in that position to begin with. So when you're looking at the entirety of the season, which I think you should consider when you're talking about an MVP, Lamar put his team in a position to have the #1 seed be the best team in the league, and now they can chill for a week. Really, a couple weeks. So that's just a completely different space. So it can't just come down to the... Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.